Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And today I am filled with enthusiasm and energy. 8th October is celebrated as Indian Air Force Day. And since its inception on 8th October 1932, Indian Air Force has been touching the sky with glory, according to their motto, which is Nabham Sparsham Deepatam. The integrity, honor, and ethos are the principles on which Indian Air Force has made its way to fourth largest air force of the world. On this day, I would like to tell you a few stories from Indian Air Force that has motivated me and my friends for a long time, and I want those stories to be your motivational stories as well. Let us start with our first story. It was the Indo-Pak War of 1965, and Flight Lieutenant K.C. Cariappa was sent on sortie missions to Pakistan. It was then when his plane was shot down and he was taken up as prisoner of war. Now this Flight Lieutenant K.C. Cariappa is also the son of our first Commander-in-Chief, first General and then the Field Marshal Cariappa. The President, Dictator and Commander of Pakistani forces was Ayub Khan. As soon as he came to know that the General Cariappa's son is our prisoner of war, he immediately called up Cariappa because he was his immediate senior and said that, "Sir, your son is in good hands and if you want, I can send him back right now." But you know what Cariappa said? These are the ethos of Indian defense. He said, "He is my son no more." He, when sent to a mission professionally, is a son of this nation, of this country, of this motherland. And if you're gonna send my son back, just don't do it. Send all the prisoners of war back. These are the types of incidences which remind me of a very great motto carved out on all the defense institutions, which has led me and guided me in my life all the way. And that motto is Shepherd motto. I would like to repeat it for you. Safety, honor and welfare of your country comes first, always and every time. The honor, welfare and comfort of the men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort and safety comes last, always and every time. The second story, we will learn about the War of Bangladesh Liberation. And the incidents that I am talking is of 22nd November 1971. It was when 4 Pakistani sabers entered into Indian territory and 2 MiG-21 and 2 Nats, which were on special attachments at Jamdar Airport, Calcutta, intercepted these 4 sabers and took flight at 1452 hours and attacked them. In the ensuing dogfight, when planes fight, it is called as dogfight. 3 sabers of Pakistanis were taken down and 1 of them was captured. The pilot was Flight Lieutenant Parvez Mehdi Qureshi. Now, the story fast forwards to 1999 Kargil War. When this Flight Lieutenant Parvez Mehdi Qureshi was POW, and according to Shimla Agreement, we sent all the POWs back to Pakistan. This Parvez Qureshi went on to become the Chief of Air Staff. He ensured that Pakistani Air Force did not take part in Kargil War. I think he was repaying the debt that we paid with the back. The Indian pilot who shot him down was Flight Lieutenant Donald Lazarus, who later became commanding officer of Quadrant, and he wrote a letter congratulating him on his posting as Chief of Staff. You know what? He was not expecting a reply, but this commander of Pakistani Air Force, which was Parvez Qureshi, replied Donald back and said, "It was very humble of you to remember me because I could not remember you from our first meeting when he was shot down. This is ethos. This is brotherhood. This is fraternity." And I would like to tell today's young students, in our corporate world, we may compete, we may have competitions with each other, we will compete with all our might, but there is some human decency today. And Indian Air Force and all the armed forces in the world teach us to do it. And India is a forerunner in this type of principles, honors, ethos, integrity and discipline. Now moving on to the third story. Not a story per se, but an incident. An incident during the surrender of Pakistani army in 1971 war. During 1971, we won the war with Pakistan, which was also known as Bangladesh Liberation War with a huge upside. We captured 90,000 plus prisoners of war. And it is due to that signing of surrender when General A.A.K. Niazi, who was commanding officer of Pakistan during signing a document, was asked, "Why did you surrender? Your army was still intact." And it is when he pointed to the wings of pilot of Indian Air Force and said, "It is due to you, the Indian Air Force." This story always gives me goosebumps. My fourth and fifth stories are the stories that I've heard directly from Group Captain Nitin Velde. Let me introduce him. Group Captain Nitin Velde is a part of an Air Force team which moves supplies to our world's highest battleground, that is Siachen Glacier. Yeah, India controls it. World's highest battleground with over minus 70 degrees of temperature. You have to move your men, equipment, weaponaries, and even supplies day in and day out to the base camp from the base camp of Siachen to the Siachen glaciers every time now and then. Now, these pilots are trained extensively, and during one such training, the last part of the training are called as sorties, or in the training they are called as sorties. The last sorties are taken by very high officials. Group Captain Nitin Velde was flying with squadron leader Hemant Sachdeva. Now, after first few sorties, after 3 sorties, they took a break, and then Sachdeva started giving briefings to Nitin. Then Nitin started complaining that, "Sir, today wind was so gusty, today wind draft was up and down, and I could not concentrate, I could not see the helipads because helipads at Siachen are so tiny." Or after this, Sachdeva said, "Bol liya tune. You are a leader and you are supposed to deliver always and every time." This is a lesson of my life that I have learned from him. You are a leader and you have to deliver. Not once, not twice, not thrice, but always and every time. The fifth story that I have heard from Nitin sir itself is named, a very fascinatingly named, Ram Ram Saab. Now, the commandment or contingent that is posted in Siachen is that of an army. The Air Force is supplying the logistic equipment, and all the guys that are up there in Siachen have a load master. A load master is a person in charge of sending loads to those guys, and those in charge are called as JCOs or Junior Commissioned Officers. They are in hush of taking the supports to their guys only. And there was this one JCO, Ram Narpat. He used to just come, stand there in morning, and whenever the pilots used to come to their helipad, took their briefing, went out, came out, every time the pilot passed, it was just what the Narpat did. He just did Ram Ram Saab. Just Ram Ram Saab. After a few passes, a captain or a commander or a wing commander or anyone who is flying that aircraft would come to JCO Ram Narpat and ask him, "Saab, आपके लड़कों के लिए कुछ ले जाना है?" This is the power of communication, mind. Communication is not always speaking, but it is also about when to speak, how much to speak. And best lessons that I've learned from this incident is communication is also sometimes not to speak. So these are the stories that have motivated me and guided me throughout my life. I hope they guide you too. And now, my dear friends, what do you think about our Air Force? Please comment in the box what are your views on Indian Air Force. And now I would like to end this video with a very beautiful song. It's a marching song, an official song of Indian Air Force. So presenting to you this very beautiful song. If you like our work, please comment, like, share and subscribe. Ending and signing off with this song called Jabaz Hum Chale, dedicated to Indian Air Force and the air warriors who are touching the sky with glory. Signing off, Nabham Sparsham Deepatam, Jai Hind.
Sparsham Deepatam.